This is how the party, without any sort of fucking mechanism of pushback, will operate. Because the masters are the same. It is the same corporate benefactors. It's the same titans of industry that funneled their funds into the pockets of the Democratic Party. They are the same people that hire their wives, their sisters, their brothers, their children. They're in the same club, a club that you are not a part of. So, of course, this whole like, oh man, there's two different parties and, you know, the fuck, you know, things would be so different if Democrats were in power shit is there's no better representation than that being just a fucking lie than what you are seeing right now. And the very same people that, you know, chime in and say, well, it doesn't really matter. Like, you know, just because we don't have a filibuster-proof majority or whatever, are just going to always run defense no matter what. If they were old enough to run defense for the Democratic Party, they would have done so under the Barack Obama administration when there was a filibuster-proof supermajority as well. Because those guys are just fucking cucks. ACB's father was an attorney for Shell. Neil Gorsuch's mother was the head of the EPA under Reagan, i.e. useless. The Dems can't continue to win weak majorities and do nothing forever. Something has to give eventually. Yes, the only thing that's giving is your fucking civil liberties. What do you mean? Democrats are also ineffective because they are a knit together majority, whereas the Republicans are an insular minority, so easier to act together. It doesn't matter. The main reason is that they are funded by the same people, so they operate at the behest of those same institutions, those same people in positions of power. Okay? That's why Chuck Schumer is begging Democrats to go and talk to CEOs to push for the China competition bill. And one part of this is that there is no mechanism of feedback. There is no mechanism for pushback because this very same one state, you know, one party state with two different parties, one being the controlled opposition, the other one being gross and fucking violent. That process has fundamentally dismantled labor unions and any kind of mechanism to riot, to push back, to hit the power centers. These guys only care about profits, and you control the profits that they generate. How do you control it? Because you work at those corporations, okay? But without any fucking labor union, without any sort of mechanism to push back against that, what are you going to do? You have nothing. You're divided. So they can get away with doing all of this shit. And the Democrats can get away with just being like, look how bad they are, look how bad they are, look how bad they are. Especially because the only people that are seemingly still interested in politics and doing something about what is going on are people that are relatively well off. They're definitely a little bit more privileged. And the people that go out and vote are like older. They don't give a shit. They're MSNBC watchers. So they just want to defend the Democratic Party. You know, they're retired. They're privileged. They have a house. It doesn't hit them in the same way. If you're fucking 75 years old and you're retired already, you don't give a shit about like whether your grandchildren are going to survive on this planet or not. Who gives a fuck if the EPA is gutted? So that's why when you fucking when you push back and you say, hey man, this is fucking bullshit, Democratic Party needs to do something, they can get away with being like, yeah, I don't really give a fuck. How dare you? How dare you shit on the Democratic Party? They're doing their best. They're small beans.